Good morning, and welcome to the 445 Productive Through Joy show with your host and your boy, Dr. Michael Datcher. The show airs each weekday morning, hella early AF at 4:45 a.m. here on YouTube's Michael Datcher channel, then 4:45 p.m. on Facebook Live. Today we're talking about compassion, especially for those who've done you wrong, who've caused you some type of suffering. And as you'll see, it doesn't seem like to be an obvious connection to productivity, but you'll soon see it's super important in enhancing one's productivity. If you're new, you can go to productivethroughjoy.com to see about us. We speak to groups, schools, and organizations about being productive through joy. A really series of innovative workshops, webinars, and offerings. You can see them there at the website. I should also say a few words about myself for those of you who are new. This is your host and your boy, Dr. Michael Datcher, author of the New York Times bestseller Raised and Fences, author of the acclaimed historical novel Americas, author of the Pulitzer Prize nominated Animating Black and Brown Liberation, A Theory of American Literatures. They've postponed the announcement of the Pulitzer this year, so we don't know if we've won or not yet, but we are claiming victory. So keep your fingers crossed. I'm also the board president of the World Stage, a great nonprofit here in Los Angeles' Crenshaw District. My educational background is UC Berkeley as an undergrad, my master's from UCLA, and my PhD in English Lit from the University of California at Riverside. Guys, I'm an expert at being productive. I don't say that to brag or boast. I say it because people are almost always surprised to learn of this level of productivity, given how crazy my own personal background is. I am the product of a young girl who was sexually assaulted. A terrible story. At age 16, gave birth to me at 17, and subsequently gave me up for adoption to an amazing single divorcee. So at the time, no biological father, no adopted father. Difficult times for the young MD, yet as Kumodi famously said, "How you like me now?" Right? And if I can be this productive and be so through joy, we believe that other people can, in their own ways, be productive. And that is what really inspires this show, because we know it's not where you're from. It's where you're about to go. So thanks for being here with us. Let's start. So today we're talking about compassion. We've been circling this theme for the last month or so. And today we're going to focus on the part of compassion, which is probably the most difficult part, certainly for me, but for other people as well. And it's having compassion for those who've caused you some type of suffering, right? Now, suffering could be directly or indirectly. In a personal or a business relationship, or it could be a presidential relationship. So let's start. So point one is that it's okay to acknowledge, to call out, to let people know who have caused you suffering, and that's good. We need to call people out, check them, let them know when they've treated us in ways that are not appropriate, and to say that's unacceptable. I mean, I encourage that, to call it out. Now, of course, some people are not going to respond well to that. I had a situation recently where this happened and led to, a not good situation. But that's important to let people know. You have to let them know when they've done wrong. And then point two is you want to have compassion for them. You want to have compassion and think about, although you can't do that in the moment when they're doing you wrong, of course. This is afterwards. This is how the compassion is worked up. You want to think about what they may be going through. Are they suffering? What have they been through? I know it sounds difficult for some of us, because when people have done us wrong, they're not thinking about us at all. Obviously, they're just doing us wrong. But we're not them, and we're not operating in that way. And we're looking to elevate our game. And so here's the thing. When you engage in this work, when you are actively trying to understand what that person has gone through and what they are going through, who may have influenced them, what factors may have contributed to their own suffering and their own bad behavior. Again, we're not saying you need to forget what they've done or give them a pass at all. We need to call them out so they'll change and not keep doing what they're doing, because it's ridiculous, But this work, for many of us, including me, has to pretty much happen every day, because it's so easy, as we know, to think about, I can't believe that fool did that to me. And that can be, I can spend hours doing that, you know. I know I'm not alone because when someone who's close to you, especially, stabs you in the back or completely betrays you, it's pretty painful. Because for many of us, you can't be open with everyone. You can't be trusting because people are just not healthy. So, you have your inner circle of people you trust and you reveal things to and you share, the friends, you have friends, loved ones. And when that person betrays you or uses that information against you, it's the worst, right? And those are almost always the hardest to forgive. But those are the ones we need to forgive the most, which goes right into point three, in terms of productivity, especially. Because when you are walking around holding on to that anger, that grudge, that despair, you are allowing that person A to live rent free in your head, which is not good because they probably aren't thinking about you in the same way and spending their time thinking about you, that practically. But also that kind of blockage, that type of energy, it also eats away at you. It takes you out of the space of joy. You could be in joy in those moments, but instead you're in angst and anger and frustration. And that begins to be a part of your life when that person pops into your brain. And depending upon what happened, that person can pop in your brain once a day, twice a day, 2 or 3 moments, or 10 minutes, or an hour in some cases. But that could be almost every day, or almost every other day, or almost once a week. And I think some of you know of that which I speak. A, you don't want to give that person that type of power over you. And then B, it robs you of the space to be joyful because you can't be in joy and be frustrated at the same time. Think about that, right? And we find that we're more, in the long run, we're more productive when we're in a better headspace, in a more joyful space. Although it's true that in the short term, anger can motivate you in the short term, make you, I'm going to get back and then watch me do my thing. I mean, that can be a part of what happens. But in the long run, that's not sustainable. And it's also very unhealthy. It's not good for your health. It creates and releases lots of chemicals that are not good for you into your bloodstream. So you want to release that, let go, and you do it by having a daily ritual, which you can reach out to us and we'll tell you more about that. But it's got to be an almost daily practice because it's hard to forgive and folks who've done you wrong, and especially to have compassion for those foes. All right. Thanks for being here, guys. Boom goes the dynamite. We'll see you this afternoon at 4:45 p.m. Until then, let's talk about it and be about it. Deuces.